A tiny, ordinary-looking penny, sitting forgotten in a jar for decades, could hold the power to transform your financial future. Yes, we're talking about the 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike, with values climbing as high as $3 million. Think about that for a second. $3 million from a coin most people wouldn't think twice about. What if I told you that this penny might already be in your pocket, your piggy bank, or hidden in an old drawer? Before you dismiss this as too good to be true, stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, you'll discover exactly why this unassuming penny is so valuable, how to identify if you have one, and why time is of the essence if you want to cash in on this incredible opportunity. But fair warning, the stakes are high, and competition for these coins is fierce. Are you ready to unlock the secrets of this rare treasure? Let's dive in. To understand the value of the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, we need to take a quick trip back in time. 1967 was a pivotal year for U.S. coinage. The U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins to discourage hoarding during a nationwide coin shortage. Sounds like a quirky piece of trivia, right? But here's the twist: some of these pennies were struck with an exceptional level of detail, creating what collectors call error coins, or high-grade specimens. Now, not every 1967 penny is worth millions. Most are worth just a few cents. The jackpot lies in those rare, pristine coins graded by experts as MS-67 or higher. These coins are flawless, with no scratches or wear, and they're the ones fetching eye-popping prices at auctions, and here's where the excitement builds. One of these rare pennies recently sold for nearly $3 million at auction, a life-changing amount for the lucky owner. What made this coin so valuable? Its pristine condition, rarity, and the fierce competition among collectors. But here's a quick question for you: when was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your change? I mean, really looked? If you're like most people, you probably tossed them aside without a second thought. Let this be your wake-up call, because hidden treasures don't wait forever. Now that you're on the edge of your seat, here's how to find out if you have one of these valuable pennies. First, grab your spare change or that jar of old coins. Look for a 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Next, examine its condition under good lighting. If it looks nearly flawless, with sharp details and no visible wear, you might be holding a fortune in your hands. If you think you've found a contender, don't try to sell it just yet. Sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC is crucial to verify its value. Without certification, your penny's potential value could plummet. And remember, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for authenticated, high-grade coins, but don't delay. Rare coins like this are becoming harder to find as more people scour their collections. Every day you wait, someone else could be claiming the prize you deserve. Imagine how it would feel to see your penny go up for auction and change your life forever. Here's a final thought to leave you with: what's the value of one small moment of curiosity? For one person, it was worth $3 million. So, what's stopping you from taking that moment right now? Go ahead, check your pennies. Your treasure might be waiting. And when you find it, remember, every great story starts with a single, unexpected discovery. Ever wondered if a simple penny in your pocket could change your life forever? What if I told you a single 1970 Lincoln penny might be worth up to $2.7 million? Yes, you heard that right, $2.7 million. This isn't a story of wishful thinking. This is the kind of opportunity that can transform an ordinary person into someone living the life of their dreams. But you have to know what to look for. So, stick around, because what I'm about to share could literally make you a millionaire. When was the last time you looked closely at your spare change? Be honest. Probably not recently. And that's exactly why treasures like the 1970 Lincoln penny go unnoticed. These rare coins have unique features that make them immensely valuable to collectors. But here's the kicker: many of these coins are still out there, hiding in plain sight. One might even be in your possession right now. It's 1970, and the U.S. Mint in Denver is producing millions of Lincoln pennies. Among the endless stream of copper coins, a tiny batch comes out, different. Due to a minting error, these pennies have a rare doubling on the front side, or obverse. This error, known as a double die, means some letters and numbers, like the date, 1970, appear slightly overlapped or shadowed. Collectors go wild for these mistakes. Why? Because errors make the coins unique, and uniqueness equals value. Fast forward to today. Most people still don't realize the significance of these coins. They're sitting in jars, drawers, and piggy banks, forgotten. But those who do know, they've seen these pennies sell for hundreds, thousands, even millions of dollars at auction. Imagine finding one of these in your change jar. What would you do with that kind of money? In 2021, a pristine 1970 double-die penny sold at auction for $2.7 million. What makes it worth so much? First, rarity. The more uncommon the coin, the higher its value. Second, condition. Collectors want coins in mint or near-mint condition. Even a tiny scratch can impact the price. And third, demand. Right now, interest in rare coins is surging, and with that, so are prices. Now, before you start imagining yachts and mansions, let me tell you this: not every 1970 penny is worth millions. But even if yours isn't a jackpot, it could still be worth hundreds or thousands. That's life-changing money for just one little penny. So, how do you know if you have the right one? Here's what you need to do: grab any 1970 Lincoln pennies you have and examine them closely. Look for doubling on the obverse, especially around the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." If you're unsure, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it for professional grading. Still with me? Good, because here's where it gets urgent. These coins aren't going to stay hidden forever. More people are catching on, and the market's getting hotter by the day. If you've got one, now is the time to act. Imagine losing out because you waited too long. Before we wrap up, let me ask you, what would you do with $2.7 million? Travel the world? Pay off debts? Retire early? The possibilities are endless. And it all starts with one small step: checking your spare change.so. Don't wait. That penny in your pocket might be the key to a brand new life. Start looking today, because the next millionaire could be you. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny, potentially worth $2.5 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, let me tell you, it's a reality for some, and it could be for you too. Stay tuned, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you why a simple 1987 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could change your life forever. Why would anyone pay millions for a penny? The answer lies in history and rarity. In 1987, the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of pennies. Most of them were stamped with a mint mark indicating where they were made. But a few, a very few, slipped through the cracks without that all-important mark. This was not just a mistake, it was a collector's dream. These no-mint mark pennies are the epitome of rarity, and collectors will pay top dollar for them. Something so ordinary, something we pass by every day, suddenly becomes extraordinary. Isn't that the kind of story we all dream of? The kind where the underdog, in this case, a humble penny, rises to greatness. But before we dive into how much these pennies are worth and how to identify one, let me ask you this: when was the last time you really looked at your loose change? Maybe it's time to start paying attention. Now, here's where it gets exciting, and a little nerve-wracking. A 1987 no-mint mark penny in perfect condition could be worth up to $2.5 million. Yes, that's enough to buy a dream home, retire early, or travel the world. But here's the catch: these coins are incredibly rare, and their value is skyrocketing as more collectors enter the market. Coins without a mint mark are known as errors, and error coins are a hot commodity. In the coin collecting world, rarity plus demand equals massive value. It's basic economics, but with a dash of treasure hunting excitement, and here's where urgency comes into play. The more time passes, the harder it becomes to find these coins. People are searching every day, hoping to strike gold, or copper, in this case. The question is, will you be one of them, or will you let this opportunity slip through your fingers? But how do you know if you have one of these golden tickets in your possession? Don't worry, I've got you covered. First, grab any 1987 penny you can find and take a close look. The mint mark is usually located just below the year on the front of the coin. If it's missing, you might be holding something truly special. But there's a catch: condition matters. A coin's value skyrockets when it's in mint state, meaning no scratches, dents, or discoloration. Now, let me throw in a pattern interrupt. Have you ever felt like your pennies are plotting against you? Like they vanish when you need them and multiply when you don't? Well, this time, those pesky pennies might just be on your side. Back to business. If you think you found a no mint mark penny, get it professionally appraised. Don't try to sell it on your own. A trusted numismatist or auction house will help you get the best price. Remember, you're not just selling a coin, you're selling a piece of history. But here's the million-dollar question: could there be a 1987 no mint mark penny sitting in your pocket right now? Or buried in a jar on your kitchen counter? Don't just wonder, find out. Because the next person to uncover a $2.5 million penny could be you. So, what are you waiting for? Check your coins, do your research, and take that first step toward a life-changing discovery. Remember, every great story starts with a small but powerful moment. Could this be yours? But what if I told you that very penny could make you a millionaire overnight? That's not a dream, it's a reality for some lucky individuals who discovered the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that's taken the numismatic world by storm, with some valued as high as $2.30 million. Before you start rummaging through your old coin jar, hold on. This isn't just about luck, it's about knowing what to look for. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this rare gem and why collectors are paying such jaw-dropping amounts for it. And trust me, you don't want to miss the details, especially the one mistake that could cost you thousands. When's the last time you checked your change? Because if you haven't, you could be sitting on a gold mine disguised as copper. Let's dive into the fascinating story of the 1988 no mint mark penny, a coin that's rewriting the rulebook on how we value money. Back in 1988, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, most of which were stamped with a tiny letter indicating where they were made. But every now and then, an error slips through, an oversight that turns an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Enter the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, here's the kicker: this isn't just any error coin. The absence of a mint mark, the tiny letter usually found below the date, makes this penny incredibly rare. Why? Because these errors are unintentional and occur in such small numbers, making them highly sought after by collectors who are willing to pay astronomical sums. And it's not just the missing mint mark that's important. There's another feature, a subtle difference in the design of Lincoln's portrait, that makes this coin stand out. This is where things get exciting. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, scrutinizing every detail, and realizing you're holding a piece of history worth millions. Now, you might be wondering, how can I spot one of these valuable pennies? Don't worry, we're getting there. But first, let me ask you, how many pennies have passed through your hands in your lifetime? Hundreds? Thousands? And how many did you toss aside without a second thought? Think about that for a moment. That's the fear factor, the idea that you could have already let a fortune slip away. Here's the moment you've been waiting for: how to identify the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Start by checking the date, 1988. Then look below it. If you see a letter like D or S, that's the mint mark. But if there's nothing there, you might have struck gold, or rather, copper. But wait, there's a catch. Some counterfeit coins exist, so you'll need a trained eye to verify authenticity. This is where expert appraisals come in. And here's a pro tip: use a magnifying glass to inspect every detail. because even the tiniest imperfection could mean the difference between a regular penny and a multimillion-dollar treasure. Now, imagine for a second, what would you do with $2.3 million? Pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Secure your retirement? This isn't just about money, it's about freedom and living the life you've always dreamed of. But here's the urgency: these coins are getting rarer by the day. Every time one is found and sold, the chances of another surfacing diminish. Before we wrap up, here's a cliffhanger for you. There's another rare penny from the same era that's almost as valuable, but most people overlook it entirely. Want to know what it is? Stick around for our next video, where we'll reveal its secrets. In the meantime, grab your magnifying glass and start searching. That 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be closer than you think. And when you find it, remember, your millionaire story began with a single penny. Have you ever dreamed of uncovering a hidden fortune in the most unlikely place? What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a humble coin you might find tucked away in an old jar, could be worth up to $2 million? Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why collectors are willing to pay a fortune for this seemingly ordinary coin. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal how you could potentially find one of these rare treasures and turn it into life-changing wealth. The discovery. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks just like every other penny. It's coppery, a little worn, and maybe it's been sitting in a drawer for decades. But upon closer inspection, something's missing. There's no tiny letter under the date. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Nothing. Just the number 1994. Could this be the legendary no mint mark penny that collectors are scrambling to own? Here's where the excitement kicks in. The lack of a mint mark indicates it was produced in Philadelphia, but for reasons still shrouded in mystery, only a few of these coins were struck without the signature, P, or other identifying marks. These coins were likely in error, but their rarity makes them incredibly valuable. Collectors love a good mystery, and this penny story has them hooked. Now, imagine the rush of adrenaline as you realize you might have one of these coins. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. How do you know if your penny is the real deal? Hold on to that thought, we'll get to it shortly. The hunt. This is where the fun, and the fear, begins. Searching for rare coins can feel like chasing a needle in a haystack. Maybe you're thinking, what are the odds I'll actually find one? But here's the thing, the 1994 no mint mark penny wasn't found in a treasure chest or at a high-profile auction. Many of these coins have been discovered in everyday places, old coffee cans, inherited collections, or even loose change lying around. When's the last time you checked your spare change? Go ahead, take a look. I'll wait. Found anything? Maybe not this time, but don't lose hope. Remember, the thrill is in the chase, and every coin you sift through brings you one step closer to striking gold, or, in this case, copper. And speaking of copper, here's a quick fun fact to reset your focus. Did you know pennies minted before 1982 are made of 95% copper and weigh more than newer pennies? Don't go melting them down, though. That's illegal. But it's another reason to pay close attention to your coins. Every detail matters. Back to our story. You've identified a 1994 penny with no mint mark. Your heart is racing, but now comes the big question: is it authentic? Many counterfeit coins are floating around, but an expert appraisal can confirm whether your find is the real deal. That's why it's crucial to work with a reputable numismatist. Stay tuned, we'll talk about how to get your coin authenticated in just a moment. Act 3, the payday. Here's where dreams come true. Let's say your penny is genuine. What happens next? The 1994 no mint mark penny has fetched jaw-dropping prices at auctions, with some selling for hundreds of thousands and others even reaching the elusive $2 million mark. Imagine the freedom that kind of money could bring. Paying off debts. Buying your dream home. Traveling the world. It's not just a coin, it's a ticket to a new life. But, and here's the twist, the market for rare coins is competitive. Timing, condition, and the buyer's interest all play a role in determining the final price. That's why you need to strike while the iron is hot. Rare coin values can fluctuate, so if you're lucky enough to have one, don't let it gather dust. Take action now. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Rare coins like the 1994 no-mint mark penny aren't just relics of the past, they're opportunities waiting to be seized. But you have to act fast. Opportunities like this don't come around every day, and procrastination could cost you. So, what's stopping you from checking your change, exploring old collections, or starting your coin hunt today? One last cliffhanger before you go. In our next video, I'll share another rare coin you need to look for, one that's hiding in plain sight and could be worth even more. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Until then, happy hunting, and remember, every penny counts, literally.
Imagine holding a penny in your hand that could be worth more than your dream home. Yes, a single penny. Now, before you shrug it off, let me tell you, the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might just be your golden ticket. Could this tiny coin sitting unnoticed in your drawer hold the power to change your life forever? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, what to do if you got one in your collection. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's start with a quick history lesson. The year was 1967. The Vietnam War was raging, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure to produce coins without mint marks to discourage hoarding. Enter the 1967 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it's just another penny. But beneath that unassuming copper surface lies a story of scarcity, condition, and demand, the trifecta that skyrockets its value. Here's where things get really interesting. Most of these pennies are worth just a few cents. But, and here's the big but, a select few have fetched astronomical prices at auction. Why? Condition is king. If your 1967 penny is in near-perfect shape, or what collectors call them as 67 or higher, you're looking at a potential 6 or even 7-figure payday. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a penny be worth millions? Well, let me explain. Picture a room full of eager collectors, each one more desperate than the last to own the rarest, most pristine example of this coin. That's how bidding wars start, and before you know it, one penny sells for $9 million. Yes, that's real money we're talking about. Oh, and by the way, have you checked your couch cushions lately? Because the last person who found a valuable penny wasn't digging through an antique shop. They were sorting through pocket change. Crazy, right? Now comes the part you've been waiting for. How do you know if your 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is the jackpot? First, check the date. It must say 1967, and there should be no mint mark below the date. Second, examine its condition. Does it still have that shiny new penny glow? Or does it look like it's fought one too many battles with a parking meter? The closer to flawless, the better. Next, get it professionally graded. This is crucial. A certified grading will tell collectors that your coin isn't just rare, it's authentic and worth investing in. Imagine trying to sell a diamond without paperwork. Same concept here. Finally, don't sell yourself short. If you find this coin, don't rush to the nearest pawn shop. Instead, consult an expert or an auction house. They'll ensure you get every penny, pun intended, of what it's worth. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. What if your next trip to the grocery store ends with you handing over a penny worth millions? Or what if you've had one tucked away all along, collecting dust? Life-changing opportunities often come in the most unexpected forms. Don't let this one slip through your fingers. Still curious about other rare coins hiding in plain sight? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got more secrets to share that could help you turn pocket change into a fortune. And hey, while you're here, Take one last look at those pennies lying around. You never know which one might hold the key to your next big break. Let me ask you a quick question. What if I told you that a single penny sitting in your drawer could be worth more than your house, your car, or even your retirement fund? Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1969 Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that's turning heads in the collector's market for its jaw-dropping value of up to $7 million. Yes, you heard that right. $7 million for a penny. But before you start frantically digging through your change jar, there are a few critical things you need to know. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to determine its value, and what steps to take if you hit the jackpot. The 1969 penny might look like any other coin in your pocket, but its story is anything but ordinary. Struck at the Denver Mint, this coin was part of a production run that saw millions of pennies released into circulation. However, a small fraction of these coins contain a unique feature, a rare error that sets them apart and sends their value skyrocketing. Imagine this: a factory producing thousands of identical cars, but one rolls off the line with a diamond embedded in the dashboard. That's the 1969 penny in the world of coin collecting. Its rarity lies in a double die obverse, a minting error where the lettering and date appear to be duplicated. Think of it as a ghostly shadow that's not supposed to be there. This mistake, combined with its age and condition, makes it a treasure worth millions. Before you brush this off as too good to be true, consider this: collectors and experts are actively hunting for these coins. Some have already been auctioned off for record-breaking prices. So, could you be holding a fortune in your hands without even knowing it? Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay millions for a single penny? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand. Let's break it down. First, rarity. Only a handful of 1969 double die pennies are known to exist. In the world of collectibles, the scarcer the item, the higher its value. Imagine finding a needle in a haystack, except this needle is made of gold. Next, condition. Coin grading plays a massive role in determining value. A coin in pristine condition, often referred to as mint state, can fetch exponentially higher prices than one that's scratched or worn. If you have one of these coins, and it's been sitting untouched in a jar or safe, you're already ahead of the game. Finally, demand. The coin collecting community is vast and fiercely passionate. These collectors aren't just buying coins. They're buying pieces of history, investments, and symbols of rarity. And when demand meets scarcity, prices soar. Here's a quick reality check to reset your attention. If you've ever held a garage sale, you've probably let go of pennies just like this without even thinking twice. Scary, isn't it? Alright, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How do you know if your 1969 penny is worth millions? First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Inspect the date and lettering on the obverse side of the coin. If you notice a doubled effect, like the letters and numbers are slightly shadowed or overlapped, you might be looking at a double die penny. Second, check for the D mint mark below the date. This confirms it was struck in Denver. No D? It's not the coin we are looking for. Third, consider the coin's condition. Is it shiny and free of scratches? If so, you could be sitting on a high-grade specimen that collectors dream of. Now, here's a cliffhanger for you. Even if you find these features, don't rush to celebrate just yet. Counterfeits exist, and authentication is crucial. Stick around because up next, I'll share the exact steps to take to verify your coin's authenticity and maximize its value. So, you've checked your coin and believe it's the real deal. What's next? The first step is to have it professionally graded and authenticated by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations will certify your coin's value and condition, giving you the credibility needed to attract serious buyers. Next, consider auctioning it through a high-profile platform. Heritage Auctions, for example, specializes in rare coins and can connect you with wealthy collectors willing to pay top dollar. Finally, don't let fear or procrastination stop you. Coins like this don't surface every day, and demand is only growing. Imagine the life-changing possibilities: paying off debts, buying your dream home, or retiring in luxury, all from a single penny. Before you go, let me leave you with this. What's the value of a penny? For most people, it's 1 cent. But for the lucky few who recognize its true potential, it's a ticket to a wealthy, worry-free lifestyle. Could you be one of them? The only way to find out is to start looking. Imagine owning a single penny that could change your life forever. Yes, a penny. Not just any penny, but the rare 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin so elusive, so valuable, it's been appraised at up to $6 million in pristine condition. Sounds unbelievable? Well, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this humble coin could be the golden ticket to your dream lifestyle. In 1971, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. Most of them came from facilities in Denver or San Francisco, and these pennies proudly bore their mint marks, D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But then, there are the mysterious exceptions, pennies without any mint mark at all. These were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically didn't add a mint mark back then. Now, here's the kicker. While most 1971 pennies without a mint mark are common and worth just their face value, a few rare ones possess striking errors or unique characteristics that send their value skyrocketing. We're talking about anomalies like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet materials, mistakes that make collectors salivate. If you've got one of these extraordinary coins, you might just be sitting on a fortune. But wait, before you sprint to your coin jar, there's more to the story, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Let's dive deeper. What exactly makes a 1971 no-mint mark penny worth up to $6 million? First, condition is king. If your penny is graded as MS65 or higher by a professional service, it's considered mint state, flawless, as though it just rolled off the press. Combine that with a rare error, and you've hit the jackpot. Take, for example, a recent auction where a 1971 no-mint mark penny fetched over $2 million due to a doubling error on Liberty and the date. Why so much? Collectors will pay astronomical sums for rarity, history, and perfection. These coins are more than currency. They're pieces of art. But here's a scary thought. What if you've had one of these coins in your possession before and spent it? Makes you want to check every penny in your pocket right now, doesn't it? Don't worry, there's still hope. I'll tell you exactly what to look for and how to determine if your penny is the golden goose. And yes, even slightly imperfect examples can still fetch thousands. So, how do you know if you've got a $6 million penny in your collection? Start by inspecting your 1971 no-mint mark pennies for key details. Look closely at the word Liberty and the date 1971. If you see doubling, even slightly, you potentially got a winner. Next, examine the coin's condition. Is it shiny and free of scratches? Great. Now, here comes the important part. Get it professionally graded. You can't just rely on your eyes. Certified grading services like PCGS or NGC are your ticket to verifying and maximizing the value of your coin. But don't rush out the door just yet. Did you know improper handling could reduce your penny's value by thousands? That's right. Always store your coins in a protective case and avoid touching them with bare hands. Oh, and here's a little tip. Never clean your coins. It might sound counterintuitive, but cleaning can actually damage them and lower their worth. Now, imagine this. You've got your penny graded, and the results are in. It's worth a jaw-dropping $6 million. What's next? A new house? Early retirement? Helping your family live a life free of financial stress? The possibilities are endless, but here's the catch. These coins are rare for a reason. Finding one requires persistence and a little luck. Still, the thrill of the hunt makes it all worthwhile. And if you don't have one yet, don't lose hope. Start visiting local coin shops, attending auctions, or even searching online marketplaces. You never know where a hidden gem might appear. Now, here's a question for you. Could your penny collection be hiding more valuable treasures? What if I told you there are even more coins out there worth millions? Stay tuned, because in our next video, we're uncovering another rare coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now. So valuable that it could change your life forever. One single coin that might be hiding in your pocket right now could be worth up to $4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1975 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Let's dive into the story behind this extraordinary coin, its current market value, and how you can uncover treasures like this to potentially transform your financial future. Every great story has a beginning, and for this penny, it's the U.S. Mint. Back in 1975, millions of pennies were produced, most stamped with an identifying mint mark to show where they were made. But a tiny number slipped through without that crucial mark. Why? Was it a mistake? A secret experiment? Or something else entirely? These unanswered questions add to the mystique and allure of this coin. And here's the kicker. The rarity of the 1975 no-mint mark penny makes it one of the most coveted treasures for coin collectors today. Before we get into its jaw-dropping value, let me ask you this. Have you checked your spare change recently? If not, you're not alone. Most people assume their pennies are just pennies. But every coin has a story, and some stories are worth millions. You're sorting through a jar of coins, and there it is. A plain-looking penny from 1975, but something's different. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a simple 1975 staring back at you. Could it be the one? The excitement builds as you realize you might be holding a fortune in your hands. Transitioning from its history to its value, let's talk numbers. A typical 1975 penny might fetch you a single cent, but this one? Recent auctions have seen it sell for hundreds of thousands and, in the rarest cases, estimates suggest up to $4 million. Yes, that's not a typo, 4 million. It's like winning the lottery, only instead of buying a ticket, you've simply held onto your spare change. At this point, you might be wondering, how do I know if my coin is the real deal? And what's the next step if it is? Patience, we'll get to that. But first, let me hit you with a quick question. If someone handed you a penny worth $4 million, what's the first thing you'd do? Buy a mansion? Retire early? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'm curious. Here's where the urgency kicks in. Time and demand are everything in the world of rare coins. Collectors and investors are constantly searching for pieces like the 1975 no-mint mark penny, and the value only increases as they become harder to find. So if you've been procrastinating on checking your change, now is the time. Let's shift gears and talk about authentication. If you believe you found the coveted coin, the first step is to avoid cleaning it. That's right, cleaning a coin can decrease its value significantly. Instead, handle it gently, preferably with gloves, and store it in a protective case. Then, seek out a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate your coin and provide a certification that skyrockets its appeal to collectors. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Here's the honest truth. Finding a 1975 no-mint mark penny is extremely rare. But isn't that what makes the hunt so thrilling? It's not just about the coin, It's about the possibilities. And here's a little humor to lighten the mood. The next time someone hands you a penny for your thoughts, maybe think twice before giving it away. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. What if you never checked? What if you had the key to a life-changing fortune sitting in plain sight, and you overlooked it? The fear of missing out should be your motivation. Because the truth is, opportunities like this don't come around often. Now, for the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. There's one more thing that makes the 1975 no-mint mark penny even more intriguing, and it's something very few people know. This secret could dramatically increase the odds of finding one. But that's a story for another video, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss it. What if I told you that a single penny could change your life? Yes, you heard that right. In this video, we're diving into the world of a coin so rare, so extraordinary, it could make you a millionaire. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is worth up to $3 million, how to identify it, and what makes it so special. Stick around, because missing this could mean walking past a fortune hidden in your pocket change. Let's set the stage. Picture this. It's 1982, a year of big changes in America. Gas was cheap, the E.T. movie was taking over cinemas, and over at the U.S. Mint, something unexpected happened. A mistake, a tiny, almost invisible detail, created one of the rarest coins in history. Now, before we get into the juicy details of how this error occurred, let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your pennies? Maybe it's time to start. First, let's talk about the penny itself. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a significant change. They switched from producing pennies made of mostly copper to pennies made with a zinc core and just a thin copper coating. This transition led to a unique variety of pennies minted that year, including 7 different types. Among these, there's one coin that stands out, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that wasn't supposed to exist. Here's where it gets interesting. A small batch of these pennies was accidentally minted without the usual letter indicating where it was made. No P for Philadelphia, no D for Denver, just a blank space beneath the date. At first glance, it might seem like any ordinary coin, but in the world of collectors, it's a treasure. Why? Because errors like these are the holy grail of coin collecting. They're rare, they're fascinating, and they're worth a fortune. Now, you might be thinking, okay, great, but how does this make a penny worth up to $3 million? Well, it's all about demand and scarcity. Imagine this, you're a collector, and there are only a handful of these coins in existence. How much would you pay to own one? This is where competition drives up value. In fact, one of these coins sold for millions at an auction because it was not only rare, but in pristine condition. Condition matters a lot. The shinier, the better. But let's pause here for a second. How many pennies have you thrown into jars, dropped into parking meters, or left forgotten in couch cushions? What if one of them was the golden ticket? Just imagine discovering that you've been sitting on a $3 million payday. It's enough to make anyone dig through their old change. Now, let's talk specifics. How do you identify the 1982 no-mint marked Lincoln penny? First, look at the date. It must be 1982. Second, check the area under the date. If there's no mint mark at all, you might have a contender. But here's the catch. There were multiple variations of the 1982 penny, including different weights. You'll need a scale to weigh your coin. The copper pennies from 1982 weigh 3.11 grams, while the zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams. If your no-mint mark penny weighs 3.11 grams, congratulations, you might have struck gold, or copper, to be precise. Before we move on, let me ask you a question. How many of you are reaching for your change jar right now? I'll wait. Just kidding. But seriously, don't go anywhere, because the most critical tip is coming up next. So, what should you do if you think you've found one? First, don't clean it. I know the temptation is there, but cleaning a coin can ruin its value. Instead, handle it carefully and store it in a protected case. Next, get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. They'll evaluate its condition and confirm if it's the real deal. Remember, the better the condition, the higher the value. Here's the part that gets exciting. Imagine you've got this coin. You've had it authenticated, and it's legit. What's next? You've got options. You could list it at an auction, where eager collectors will bid for the chance to own it. Or you could sell it privately to a serious buyer. Either way, you're looking at a life-changing payday. But here's a little warning: not all that glitters is gold. There are fakes out there, and scammers prey on hopeful sellers. That's why getting professional authentication is so crucial. It protects you and ensures you get the true value of your find. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. Every day, people overlook treasures because they're disguised as ordinary things. A dusty penny, a forgotten jar of change, a coin passed down from a relative. Don't let that be you. Take a moment to check your pennies. Who knows? That tiny coin could hold the key to your dreams. Now, I've got a challenge for you. After watching this video, grab your coins and start hunting. If you find something interesting, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins worth millions, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Together, we'll uncover the secrets hiding in plain sight, and maybe even make you a millionaire. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting!